Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in as we speak about the COVID crisis in India and how our communities around the world are coming together to support our families and friends back home in India in the best way we are able to. This show will highlight how, as a larger community, each person in India and each one of us who don't live in India have become an individual resource. Fear and grief. These are two words that are echoing through every home in India and are families connected with India, with an underlying sense of anger. I'm Raga Olga de Silva, or Totally Out Now, as you know me. Today, we will focus on how, as a community, we have come together to extend our support and how we, as a community of NRIs, can extend our support through resources, through donations, and anything that we can offer from here. Today, we have three guests who have each been severely impacted by COVID in India and are making tremendous contribution to our community. We will all share perspective on what's happening in India, how our NRI community is dealing with families impacted by this deadly disease remotely, and how, as a community, we are mobilizing funds and resources. Please join me in welcoming Sonam Kalra, my dear, dear, dear friend and creator of the Sufi Gospel Project, a musician and an activist from Delhi. Shantuli Sarkar Ravuri, director of a major banking software company based in the UK. Meenal Jaiswal, admin and co-founder of Indians in London. Please welcome everyone. I normally would have so much more to say and lots of smiles and laughter on my show, as you know. But today, none of us are able to bring in that part to us with the catastrophe that's happening in India right now. Sonam, I'm going to start with you. Sonam, I know that you have been afflicted by COVID. Not just you, your babies, your family, the health around you, your friend's family. Just now, you just shared some very sad news as well about your friend's mother. Can you share with us what's happening in India right now?
Firstly, Raga, thank you for having this conversation. I think it's really important for us to all be talking about this. I know many of us have been venting on social media at the complete breakdown of, and I won't say the healthcare system because I honestly believe the doctors have been incredible to have been dealing with this for 2 years. They have been our heroes, our warriors, our army. But I do believe there's been a complete breakdown of the government and the way they have dealt with the COVID crisis. They've allowed it to become a crisis. It wasn't a crisis of this degree in India. I have just recovered from COVID. My cook got it. Before we knew it, everyone in the house started to fall like nine pins. My 22-month-old daughter got it, after which our live-in driver, my husband, me, and by the end of it, I think on the 15th of this month, I was dealing not only with myself being sick, but I was dealing with seven people in the house who were sick. And I can tell you that despite being sick, all I would do is in the morning, I would get up and I would start to call for medicines. And if it wasn't for the community and if it wasn't for social media or anything that I would put up on Facebook, whether I was asking for Fabiflu or some drug, people were so incredibly kind. I cannot even begin to tell you. Strangers, friends saying, Sonam, we have this medicine. People who are friends, who perhaps not been such good friends, reaching out to say, can we get you this thing? Can we get you that? By as the days progressed, Raga, from simple medicines like paracetamol. I know there have been days that I have called eight chemists, or I've spent a day just trying to get paracetamol for someone who was sick, whether it was in my house or by the end of it, helping friends. You couldn't get paracetamol, you can't get oximeters, you can't get basic steroids, you can't get anything for love or money. I mean, an oxygen cylinder, that's of course, that's impossible. It has been it's very frightening to get COVID because the second this particular strain is more deadly. Some people, I mean, I don't think everybody knows enough about it. Some people say it's a mutation of two strains. Some people say it's the Bengal strain. It's three strains, which hides from your immune system. Nobody knows enough. But the scary thing is it's getting everyone. The first one was they were saying that the older people are weaker, children were safe, and younger people without comorbidities were safer. This time it's been anyone. And I was telling my husband, I said, the scary thing is the minute you get it, you can go either way. And then there's such a sense of gratitude and guilt. There's been, for me, the last few days, I've been feeling grateful that we have, come through the worst. But there's also been guilt because every step of the way you've heard of, someone working in my husband's office, this young boy. his younger brother, 30-year-old, he had a COVID negative report, and he showed up at the Radhaswamy Center asking to be, he was gasping for breath, but because he had a negative report, he was not allowed in. And I cannot even begin to fathom that if someone is gasping for breath, forget the test. You put the person on oxygen. You have the facility. Then, of course, there was a ruling passed saying that no, you don't need to have a COVID negative test. But I'm saying all of this, I'm sorry to say, nonsense is happening too little, too late, and it's still not sorted. I mean, there are great examples of community leadership, of community initiatives that are happening all across. And if it wasn't, as I say repeatedly, for the community and people writing on Twitter, and at the same time, you'll hear people say, oh, Twitter spreads negativity. If it wasn't for social media, I'm sorry, we would not have even survived as much as we are surviving now. If it wasn't for community, it has been shocking how badly social media has been handled by our government in terms of directives, in terms of where to go, in terms of how they could have used it to provide solutions. And it's been incredible how fantastically it's been handled by people, by community, how people have just reached out to each other. I mean, there are people doing free meals,
Yeah, exactly.
restaurants, hotels. I got a message the other day. There's a shop in Defense Colony, which is where I live, and this boy has just posted on this Defense Colony group saying, if you need any medicines, if you need any vegetables, he's a regular shop guy. Okay, so he could be saying, if you need anything, I'll deliver it. He said, if anybody in Defense Colony needs anything which doesn't belong to my shop, you need vegetables, you need medicines, I will do it free of charge. That's how amazing people have been. They're
Sonam,
free.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Sonam, this is exactly why I wanted to have this show, this segment, because there's so much of negativity. COVID is very, very scary, right? It's a nightmare. I mean, there are no descriptive words. Really, I don't have any words. It's gone beyond calamity, beyond disaster, beyond tragedy. I don't even have a word to describe this. But stories like what you're sharing, stories that we have, heard about, like you said, Twitter, I mean, hundreds of messages. People are saying, I want a bed. Within minutes, the messages are going across to people, and within minutes, you can hear that, yes, found something. It's sad that we reached the stage that we have to help each other when, of course, the help should have come from, somewhere higher up. Yeah, but the good news is that it's all brought us together, whether you're in India, whether you're not in India, because we're all impacted by this. So now I'm going to come back to you, but there's one key thing before I go on to, Shantuli, is I want to ask you about the langar. You're from the Sikh community. We love the Sikh community for all the wonderful things that the community does for us, right? The langar is for food. When last year, when the lockdown started, we had various conversations, as you know, online as well. We brought in the community. We spoke about how the langar was, helping and supporting so many people in India. Today, the langar is used for oxygen. Please tell us more about that. Nothing more heartbreaking than this.
I want to say there is a very key part. I mean, I'm very, very proud to be Sikh. I'm extremely proud to belong to the Sikh religion. One of the most key things about the Sikh religion and the most basic tenets is Sarbat da Bhala. That means the bhala of the good of all humanity. Vaheguru Ji da Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji di Fateh. Even just to educate people who don't know, what does Sikh mean? It means to be a student. What does Khalsa mean? It means to be pure. And honestly, the Sikh community, and I'll be brought to tears when I say this, has shown this incredibly. And what has really, I have tweeted a few times about the fact that when it suits you, you say we belong to the Hindu religion because you don't even want to give us our own identity because, for years, because we came out of the Hindu religion. When it suits you, we're Khalistanis when the farmers' protest happens. And yet, we are the ones that bail you out every single time with what? With kindness, with nothing, with no show of ostentatiousness, with no show of slapping of bartans and shouting from rooftops or beating our chests. We do it out of kindness and humility. So honestly, more power to the Sikhs, but it is such a fantastic concept. So langar is really, most people know it's the concept of no one should ever go hungry. And the Sikhs, came up with this incredible idea of oxygen ka langar. So at all these gurdwaras, at all these places, the Hemkund Foundation, Khalsa Aid, incredible organizations like this are coming together, and they are setting up, as you can see in these photographs, you can go in your car, you can go in an auto rickshaw, you just hook up for a while if you're gasping for breath, which is the saddest thing, that everyone is just needs air, and the Sikh gurdwaras and the Sikh community is making this happen. But what is, to me, Raga, a couple of things that I find a bit like perplexing. It's such a fantastic model. Why hasn't the government followed it? Why haven't more organizations followed it? I know there have been some amazing people who are trying to get, again, individuals, getting concentrators, this, that. But the government either should say, you know what, we'll put some of the PM Cares money into this, or we will also start things like this. And I want to come back to just, when you're talking about community, and it's something that someone posted, and I think it's important. There was that gentleman, that 85-year-old man that everyone was lauding, who gave up his bed for a 45-year-old man, saying, I've lived my life and I feel it's his turn. So, and I also remember when I read that, I thought, oh my God, what an incredible man. Until I read on a friend's wall saying, and she wrote, am I the only one who's just totally appalled that suicide is being lauded, is being applauded? She said, why are we in a country where someone should have to give up their life to save another person's life? How is that? What kind of a country have we become if this is the kind of stuff we're telling our people? Why isn't every life just as precious? Why isn't every life just as important? And if you keep telling us to be Atmanirbhar, and you keep telling us to handle stuff on our own, then why do we have a government? If we have to figure stuff out on our own, you know what? We're all doing a great job of it because we are a community and we have
So, but
compassion.
can I just come in here? I'm sorry, I'm just chipping in. What you're seeing now is exactly what we saw last year, Raga, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we came out of the first lockdown. We did not have the Diwali time, we were all shut. And, we just came out of the first lockdown. And I would just not blame the governments, any government here. Okay. It was the people, they went mad shopping, they went to the beaches, all the
No, but
beaches.
you know what, Meenal?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to also understand human nature. And I agree with you, people must be responsible. And at no point am I saying that. The point is, you have to understand human nature. You've been locked up for a year. So people they were foolish. I will agree with you on that. However, that being said, as a country, we've had time to do our vaccination rollout. It should have been faster. As a country, we had time to get our act together. You cannot proclaim a victory over COVID and say, you know what, we're going to have the Kumbh, we're going to have elections. You can't. If people are being stupid, what you need to do is you need to come down harder
So,
on them. You need to say,
coming to this,
No, no, no,
Sonam,
no. Vinal, we'll come to
yeah,
you. We'll come to you. This
yeah,
this conversation will
yeah.
not be steered into government bashing at all.
No, no,
I
no.
want to bring, no, no. I want to bring positive stories, and let's talk about this a little bit more later. And Vinal, I'll come to you as well.
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to give a perspective, another perspective. Sonam, fantastic perspective. You shared something with us, which a lot of us are aware, but it's a surreal story. It's happening with you as we speak now. You're still not tested negative for COVID. To me, you're sitting here talking to us in spite of what you're going through is a big thing. So I want to come to Shantuli. Shantuli, thank you for first of all joining in today. Shantuli has a very interesting story, but it's a story of hundreds of thousands of us Indians who live outside of India currently. Shantuli's mother lives in Nagpur. She's all alone. She's elderly, and she's tested positive for COVID. But it's a very interesting story because Shantuli did something very unique. As the first sign of a mother's cough, she made certain decisions which have been very valuable. And I wanted Shantuli to share her story and also how she's managing this remotely, because there are lots of us who are managing this remotely. And like right now, we just can't hop onto a flight and say, oh, we'll go and be there with our parents. Our friends are losing their friends and family, yet they are not able to go back into India right now. So Shantuli, can you please share with us your version of this?
Sure. Thanks, Raga, for giving the opportunity to speak about it, because I think it's more about the awareness. And that's what I'm trying to do, so that people that are here, they can help families back home in the way I think how our situation has evolved. So what happened to start off with was my mother is all alone in India. And when I mean alone, I literally mean there is no maid that stays 24/7 with her either. It's a maid that comes in the morning and goes off, after the chores, and then comes in the evening again. So typically my mom lives with me for 6 months in a year, but in UK, everybody in UK knows that you have a visit visa restriction. So parents don't want to overstay, have to go back after 6 months. We didn't apply the exceptional assurance as such because we don't want to be an overstayer. So when India numbers were going down, we took the opportunity, and she decided to go back in February. That time it was fairly under control in India. It was okay. It was probably still coming out in the UK. When she got every single day, since obviously numbers have started to go up in March, I have had sleepless nights anyway. worrying about this time when it comes. And eventually that time came. She had her first vaccination in India, and then she was due her vaccination at the same time when I called her. And I typically call her about 6 to 7 times a day, just not long calls, but just to check she's okay, nothing else. And this time on the day, I called her twice. So the first time, she just didn't sound normal. And that was the first thing, it just sounded off. And it's little things like that, observation wise, because she's 72 years old, and she just, parents don't want you to worry because your children are so far away, we can't really reach there, so they don't want you to worry, so they don't tell anything. So it sounded off. The second time when I called her, it was literally a cough, just like Poonam did now. It was literal that cough. And immediately when she coughed, I could have ignored it, but it didn't sound right, given that she wasn't sounding right and she had a cough. I didn't waste any more time. I consulted my Mount Carmel 94 batch friends, and they were really helpful because there are quite a few doctors on that group. And they immediately said, look, let's do two tests, a rapid antigen test and a RT-PCR. So they said, if there is an infection, rapid antigen will, if it is an early infection, rapid antigen will show negative, which will tell us that it's a very early infection. And RT-PCR will take time because labs are under pressure. So this is what I want people to understand, that the two tests helps you establish which one, where your infection stage is, right? Now, to a layman like me, people that are abroad who can't take a flight and run, because I did look for a chartered flight as well. But the chartered flights weren't given permission to go, and they were about 15,999 pounds. Everybody can't afford it. But you can do these things because they're going to help you. So the next thing was, and I have a really good uncle, Mr. Pravir Kumar Ghosh. He's a family friend, but probably more than what a relative would do. He organized that two test immediately. The guy came over in the evening. We did the rapid antigen test. It was negative, just like our friends had suspected. The RT-PCR was going to take 72 hours, but at least we knew that it was just the start of the infection. So we could contain it, right? Then I got in touch with my two other friends, Dr. Unmesh Mahajan and Dr. Prachi Mahajan. Now, these two for me are God sent angels, like I immediately got in touch and he said, look, whatever the results come back, doesn't matter. We can start on the vitamins immediately. So that was the next thing, that guidance was perfect because he started without the test coming back. There's no harm in taking multivitamin. There's no harm in taking vitamin D, vitamin C, and Zinc-O-Vit because these don't hurt you. And there is no harm in eating bananas and coconut water. Now, these are very, very basic natural things. Rather than thinking it is COVID or not COVID, if there is a slight onset of even one symptom, we can observe that being here on phone, follow up with your parents, your families much more. Tell them to keep high on those vitamins because that is what we did. She started that the first day of the infection, the second day her cough worsened. Then the third day her cough worsened further. But by then we got the RT-PCR back. Now there's a catch here as well. Some labs are doing RT-PCR only on a single strain. Whereas in India, you've got mutations. I didn't, these are little things, but these are things of being aware. So you want to do an RT-PCR for every single strain because sometimes your result comes back as negative on a single strain. But if you've got the RT-PCR done for all of the strains, then you know which ones you've got. So that
Sure.
was the second thing. She came back positive. But that point, we were already doing steam inhalation 6 to 7 times a day. We were already doing gargling. And I know there's a lot of people say there is no scientific evidences of these, but I feel that's not the case because my mom actually did show signs of not getting worse because she was doing those things. And the next thing that we did, which was very, I think, very important, is the pronal breathing exercises. No, this is something that they say in UK, NHS. So we've combined both the things in India and in UK. So, and again, like I said, I can't thank those three people enough that I mentioned, Mr. Ghosh, my uncle, Dr.
Sure.
Mahajan, and Dr. Prachi Mahajan. But those people said about the breathing exercises. Now, this is very important. If elderly people or whoever has got, it's the early weeks of your infection or later week of your infection. Don't sleep on your back, sleep on your front, sleep on your side, do the pronal breathing exercises. And that is what helped Raga to get everything in control. Now, these were very little things if you think that way, but those were the things that helped me avoid my mom from getting hospitalized. Because imagine, we've never felt helpless like we feel now. I think Meenal would agree, you would agree, we are so far away from our families that earlier we could reach home at the drop of a hat. I have
Yeah.
been there with my dad when he passed away. I reached there. But now we can't do that. But you can do these things, and these things will.
Shantanu, thank you. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt here. I got it. I think these are basic things that if we are in that situation where you said being proactive about a certain circumstance, and that's what you've been
Exactly.
doing. But I want to know one other thing is there an option if there is an emergency as an NRI? Is there something that we can have from here?
Yeah, so there you have lots of options as being NRIs from here. Digitalization has really helped right now. So all of us NRIs have mostly, if we are first generation Indians here, you probably have done your education in India. So what three things that I've followed is you're in touch with some WhatsApp group, some Facebook group of your own friend circle, either from your school or from your college or from your graduation, post graduation, right? Most of these groups are then in touch with local digital platforms. So coming and signing up to the local digital platforms was the key thing that I did.
Sure.
And from that, what you get to know is doctors that are then practicing on teleconsultation or video consultation. So you will
Sure.
get to know that from your local circles. So all the NRIs, if they at least know in which city you are, what are the local practicing apps? Most of those apps won't allow you to register because you'll not have an Indian SIM, but you will be able to register the app with your parents or your family's SIMs, and it will open up all of the doctor's consultations for you. At times like this, you won't be able to directly talk to the doctor, but you will have an access, and doctors don't directly see anyway. So it's made that side very, very easy, and you can manage it all from here.
Sure. Sure. Thanks, Shantuli. And I'm going to come to Meenal. Meenal, I mean, amongst all of us, you're the person who's actually putting everything together, sending resources to India, which is what is most required right now. Meenal, as Indians in London group, I know that you have a tie-up with the Indian Red Cross, and you are sending supplies. And in fact, from what I understand, you sent the first batch yesterday, the first shipment, right? Which is congratulations. I should say I feel really horrible to even say congratulations, but I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of you for this. But before we get there,
Yeah,
Meenal,
sorry.
you run this group of 30 odd thousand people here in London. What are the typical concerns that you're hearing from them about life here and the life that they have had to, live without right now? We all have to, right, in India.
So, first of all, thank you, Raga, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to talk about our fundraiser and our efforts and our feelings. And it's really, Sonam, I'm really a kind of, I know what war you're fighting because we fought it like literally a few months ago. And I really can echo your, sentiments, and I understand what you're going through. And managing this group, this is becoming like yours and Shantali's, combined troubles are all what we just listen to every day. And in with 32,000 people, it's like amplified. So there's a lot of things going on. And Raga, your question was basically, so just to first clear you out, the shipment that went, and I'm really, very proud of it. But I would like to give credit to the other team, which basically facilitated and put it through. I don't want to take it away from them. So this is a group called O2C for India, a group of individuals who while we were thinking, because we are typical, we were thinking, but they actually mobilized it within a day or two. So I actually, and they've taken away our pain there because they have already done few things. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we're actually working with them. So yeah, we are part of them, but we are actually, this is a battle we all have to put our resources together, right? So we're all fighting together. So regardless of whichever community, caste, religion, the virus doesn't discriminate. Okay. So basically, it's all Indians here who have actually put in whatever their time, their money, their effort. Money makes things possible as well. The time is also required, and of course, the motivation, the intention to do it. So it's all these strengths that we've combined together, and we are trying our best because it is our people there. So I want to get to those
sorry,
people.
what's
Coming back.
inside the containers? Sorry, what's in the shipment? If we can
So
share.
those shipments, okay, so there was a clear communication from the government of India to the Indian community or outside that, look, we do have funds. The PM Care has funds. But what is exhausted in India right now is the equipment, the cylinders. Okay, because see, the virus, when it hit the first time, was very different. Okay, and it was operating in a very different scale. Now it is mutated and it's really very fast. It's affecting people who are younger, and it's not showing up like, I'm listening to Sonam, I'm listening to Shantoli, and I've listened to a lot of other friends who've called me up, recently. They're saying that their parents tested, like the mother tested negative, and she it was a very short span that they had, in which they actually could act, and they lost, like Shantoli has been really, really very cautious there, and
Lucky, honestly. You're
She's
lucky that you
actually-
got
Yeah.
tests. People are not getting tested,
So,
Shantali.
like for example, even if I told my nephew that you're 23, you have a headache, why don't you go to the get your test done? He just switches his phone off, and I'm sitting here, and he doesn't have parents. He lives with my mom, who's 80 years old. And there's no way for me to connect with my mom because my nephew has switched off his phone. My sister is calling him from Bombay, from another locality, but he switched off his phone. They don't listen, right? My mom, like Sonam, I understood what you're saying, but my mom only had the vaccination when I had my first dose here.
Gosh.
She's educated, she's double masters, but she didn't want to take the vaccination. So it's the people in India also do not want to take vaccination. They're
You're
educated.
right about that. You're right
Yeah,
about that.
they
So
are
what's
hesitant.
so what's a typical, as your 30,000 group, what is the typical concerns? I know there are visa issues people have right now. They are stuck in India or they're stuck here. There are friends, as you know, common friends who have lost their parents. They can't go for the final rites. So what are the typical issues that you are facing
So
right
the typical issue, Sonam, sorry, Raga, is basically what we are looking at now is uh, there are lack of certain equipments. There is lack of direction. Okay, there is lack of okay, so the resources will build up. This is very typical in a crisis, the crisis management. First you form the first few days in any project management or anywhere, you're just trying to figure out what your resources are, how you're going to put together. So beautifully, there are strengths of people who have intention to help. Okay, and they don't want to depend on any abz, they want to just act. Yeah, and they're beautifully coming together regardless of their religion, their whichever state they're coming from. This we are seeing in London, which is I'm working with Rajasthan Association UK. I'm working with Friends of Madhya Pradesh. I'm working with Khalsa Aid. So we're all coming together. We do not care about where the vaccine is going, or sorry, the equipments are going. We want to help India. This is first.
Meenal, I'm sorry, I'm going to
Everybody
interrupt.
come together.
I just want us to focus on one, what is in the containers, and two
Yeah.
is tell me three key things that the people here are telling you, asking you repeatedly to help them with. Three key things, and what is in
Yeah.
the containers?
So the containers, okay, so the request for equipment was oxygen cylinders,
Okay.
O2 container concentrators, yeah, the medicine remdesivir,
Remdesivir,
happened,
yeah.
and there was in situ ventilation system. So basically, because Amit and his team had already started looking at what is so the government says the recycle, India has like this thing that about the recycle equipment. There are kind of hesitations to work with that because they could not be up to the standards, and it would be, so they don't allow certain things which are recycled. Okay, so basically then we picked up the concentrators because that was something which was still beneficial and still doable, so we focused on that. So the shipment that went yesterday is O2 concentrators. Okay, and we convinced the government to go for refurbished instead of basically going for recycle one or the new one, to basically save more lives, because each concentrator is costing at the moment in UK £600. Okay,
Sure.
refurbished would be roughly around 250, and the concern of it not being useful after a year, we managed to kind of push the government to kind of think about, let's think of now and we will think of later. So
Sure.
that is what's gone from here yesterday. It's some went today as well while we were
So
talking.
Meenal,
Or
so,
when, yeah.
so Meenal, sorry, I'm sorry I'm interrupting. I got that. So the donation that we're basically asking, one of the reasons to do this show is to share stories and also have people like us who live here, the diaspora, to open their pockets and make a donation to the fund there, so that we can all collectively send resources to India, because it requires money. We also know that you have a tie-up with the Indian Red Cross, which is a very legitimate charity, as we all know. And we know for a fact, I'm sorry, I'm going to use this word, it's not going to somebody's care fund where the money, we don't know whether it's getting distributed at all. It's going to a legitimate source and it will be distributed. We know that for certain, right? So we will share a link. This is the donation link, indiansinlondon.org.uk/stand with India / audience watching in. It's our country, our India. Meenal and many, 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 many others here in London, in the UK, are doing a tremendous, tremendous effort. Please contribute. Anything, any donation is welcome. Anything. Okay, please remember, we are also here wanting to save lives in India. Very happy. There is a lot of stress on all of us here. Every day we wake up to the same news that you're waking up. The only difference is that we're not in India going through what Sonal, for instance, is going through. We've been through this. We understand this. We have suffered this for a long time in the UK when nobody else could understand our plight. So we understand. We are here. Please make a donation, whatever the amount is. We will also share this link on this comment section later for anybody else who wants to make a donation later. I'm going to come back to you, Meenal and Shantanu. Before that, I'll speak to Sonam. Sonam, a very dear friend of ours, as you know, Barkha Dutt, she lost her father recently. Now, she has all the resources in the world, all the network, yet she had to go through what she went through and ultimately lost her parent. So tell me more about, like you, you come from a privileged background as well. You have to struggle.
What I was saying.
How are the others going to manage? How are you going to manage
I was
them?
thinking, when Shantali was saying that she was able to do one antigen test, then an RT-PCR test, then be able to speak to so many doctors. You have to understand how fortunate and blessed you were and how protected your mother was by God. Because I can promise you, trying to get a doctor's consult now, no matter which app you get onto, is next to impossible. There are no tests to be had. I'm on about 15 or 20 groups, from a new mothers group to school groups to college groups. The question everyone's asking is, does anyone know of a lab that's testing? Does anyone know of a technician that will come home? Does anyone know where I can take my parents for a CT scan? Does anyone know? And these are not uneducated people. They're people like all of us. So the fact is, I spoke to a lab technician who'd become my friend because I was getting like 14, 15 people tested in my house. By the end of it, he was calling and he's saying, "Ma'am, khud dar lagta hai." He said, "Dar lagta hai. Hum log 300, 400 tests le rahe hain roz ke. We are cracking under pressure." So there is, just let me finish, Antali. I'm just saying it is a very dire situation. Raga, you know of Rajan Mishra ji, Padma Vibhushan Debu Chaudhary, people like this, the pride of India. I'm not saying their lives are more valuable than the lives of a person on the street. The fact is, no one can get beds. No one can get beds. There are constant cries for plasma. There are constant cries for beds. There's a young girl, and this was one of the saddest things, Raga, you saw I posted about this as well, is that on every possible group and this is again the community coming together, like one cry for help goes out and it's amplified manifold. This young girl had just given birth to a baby, 8 days old, and she died because she couldn't get it to a hospital with a ventilator. Eventually, with the help of all the people coming together, she managed to get to Vimans. But as soon as she got there, she had a cardiac arrest. and she died. I mean, these sort of stories are so heartbreaking. We are waking up every day. Every single person I speak to says that their heart is heavy and that they weep because these are the stories we're getting. And the situation is getting worse and worse. They are saying it's going to worsen by the 15th because the infections we're seeing now are from 2 weeks ago. There was a report I read that 90% of the people who've come back from Kumbh have tested positive. I don't even want to hear some of these things because I know that by the 15th of May, and thank you so much, Meenal, to all the people who actually come together to send these concentrators, because by the 15th of May, it's going to explode even more. And that's what's so frightening. It's one thing to be able to act quickly, and I'm doing exactly what Shantali said. If I speak to a friend who's got a cold or a cough, because for me, it started with a tickle in the throat, I say, you know what, start your Zincovit, start your vitamin C. I'm saying this stuff to friends up because I'm saying don't wait to get tested. I'm saying get home. There are home testing kits. I'm saying if you can't, just get a kit, but just watch your symptoms, check your oxygen, because now there are no tests to be had. And what's happening is a lot of people, and in India, because there's a lack of education in a large degree, a lot of people say, "नहीं नहीं मैम मैं तो ठीक हूँ मुझे सिर्फ जुकाम हो गया है." They don't understand. By the time it's day 5, their lungs are really infected. The next thing you know, their oxygen has fallen from a 97, 98 to an 87, and they're gone. And these are young people. So yes, it's awareness, Shantali, exactly what you said, but that's got to change. And how is that going to change? Because it's now is not the time to be educating people in the middle of crisis. Proning, you're talking about, these videos are going around everywhere. Everyone is lying on their stomach. Even like the Mali knows that he has to lie on the stomach. The point is, it's not. The point is, they can't get tested. That's the sad.
That's the bit that I think. So I agree with you in terms of what the situation is, and there are people that are not getting facilities and all of that. I think as well, I have seen a different perspective to it, Sonal. So I look at it in a different way. I think my perspective has been through this whole journey that if we don't overwhelm the system, and if we are able to help in terms of less overwhelming of the system, then we are going to help with the chaos. Because I'll tell you one example. I'll just give you an example. With my mother's condition, it could have been very well that the rapid antigen test and the RT-PCR wouldn't have come back, and the RT-PCR didn't come back until 5 days. But we didn't wait for assuming it is just a simple viral, if you know what I mean. That's one thing.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying you and me do things like that, and they're educated people who are doing that. People are trying not to overwhelm. The other thing that you're saying, don't overwhelm the system. Most educated people don't want to get to hospital. They're so scared. They're saying we will treat at home, which is why everyone is buying an oxygen concentrator who can afford it.
I'll give you an example, though. That's not entirely true, because I've got my company, like I said, I work for a major banking software company. It's got a lot of presence in India. My offshore guys, they are pretty educated, but my offshore guys have waited with fever for 5 days and 6 days.
But I'm agreeing with you. So I'm agreeing with you. Most people don't understand. They don't understand.
Sonal is agreeing. What we're saying is, and both perspectives are wonderful, because what you're saying is that if you're proactive and you're cautious, there's certain things that you manage.
I think people don't know that they have to be this. They're uneducated.
Correct.
This is another issue I have, that no one has, in the last year, we've heard Amitabh Bachchan say, "Do gaz zaruri, mask hai zaruri," to the point of everyone wanting to put the phone down because it's such a long, I don't know if you know, in India, if you call up someone, you hear this long, boring message. Now, in this period of time, if you started educating people, just like you said about proning, these are videos that have gone out from just all of us to each other, right? Someone has posted a prone video and it's got viral on WhatsApp. The fact is, no directives are going out. And I'm not, again, trying to talk about the government. I'm just saying no directives are going out from the powers that be, let me say, or from the ICMR saying, if you have COVID, please lie on your stomach. I know this, you know this, Meenal knows this, Raga knows this, because we are getting these videos. There is nothing that is being done to educate these people. I'm telling you, my husband gets calls from people working saying, "Sir, ठीक हूँ मैं, बस थोड़ा सा बुखार आया था 2 दिन के लिए, फिर मैं ठीक हो गया. Sir, I don't need to take anything." You're trying to tell them, no, please just start your Zincovit. Don't get on to doxycycline or whatever. But start Zincovit. Nicola's asking, what about domestic help in people in villages? Same thing. One of the girls working for me in the middle of COVID lost her brother, so she decided to take a train and get to the village. And I was begging her. I said, please don't get onto a 16-hour train. You will catch COVID. Sure enough, she got to the village. 2 days later, she calls me. 3 days later, and she says, "Mujhe bukhar hai, mera beta bhi bimar hai." And I'm now telling her the list of medicines to buy. She has to travel 60 kilometers to buy doxycycline. And, I'm speaking to the doctor for her. It's the lack of education. It's the lack of awareness. It's the lack of
It's also, I'm sorry I'm cutting you, but it's also people who want to enjoy Holi. Yeah. I call up my sister. She says now, okay. She says, oh, but all this NRIs, you all are thinking this, but we don't have anything happening in South Bombay.
Absolutely right, Meenal. I've sung after in November. I was invited to sing at a couple of corporate events, and I can promise you, no one was wearing a mask except me on stage, and I was appalled. And I was so glad that I was sitting on stage many miles away from these people because no one was wearing a mask, and it's written there, the entry of the event, no entry without a mask. Everyone is coming, without a mask.
It's a very good
Um,
question that we've been asked, Sonam, and I was going to come to that at some point. Is we talked about awareness, and I'm really with you on that because the masses generally we listen, right? We listen to what's happening, what the government directive is. So, are the TV channels doing anything other than just showing what they're showing, which everybody knows?
So you see what's happening on TV channels now. It's generally a debate. In the debate, you'll have one BJP spokesperson, you'll have one AAP spokesperson,
It's
and all of
useless
that
thing, yeah.
is shouting. It's just shouting. So people have now tuned out. People are also not turning to TV because there's so much bad news. The point is now is not the time to have made them aware. You should have been making them aware through the year.
No, but even now, the awareness even now could save lives.
Can happen. Now it can happen
Yes,
on
never too
WhatsApp
late.
videos. It can happen on WhatsApp videos. Some Bollywood person, people, India loves Bollywood. I have not seen one Bollywood actor say, you know what, I'll make these videos, I'll send out these messages, barring one or two really nice guys, but it's not happening the way it should. And where is this, IPL happened. Great
Yeah.
that the IPL. I don't understand why IPL was not used as a platform. And sorry, you may all think that I'm like this person who's looking at negativity. I'm not. I'm looking at all the opportunities lost. Why
So
did they
forget
not?
about other people, Sunam. You are such a big singer. You have
Why would they not look at IPL, Meenal? Why didn't they look at it as a fundraiser? Look at what you're doing sitting in London. They could have raised
But
funds.
see, Sonam, my approach of people who have been able to make difference instead of sitting and waiting for government, instead of sitting and waiting for someone else. Our approach is very simple. I'm in a lot of these political groups, and there are a lot of debates, and so-called community leaders in London, get only seen at high commission events and all those. I mean, a lot of those, with those
Yeah.
high profile people seen everywhere. I was a fashion designer in Bombay. Okay, I've seen exactly. I used to manage the first Satyapal show in Bombay. So I know these kind of people. I know people who basically are padhe likhe unpad, okay, who don't care about anything. Hamare servants ko hoga. But these are the people, okay, who also want the servant to come every day to their home. Okay,
Again,
people who also want to have those parties. These are the people, like Raga, you were asking me the concerns, who want to stock up and hoard the O2 concentrators.
Yeah,
And
that's
what's
it.
happening.
Yes.
They're stocking up the medicines because they can afford to. Okay, they're stocking up everything, and they are basically making sure that other people panic and the prices are going up, and the poor people cannot afford it. I cannot just blame other people. It's also part of my own circle. I've seen it happening here, and I'm seeing it happening there. How are we, okay, because we can't depend on anybody else because our people are dying, okay? How are we going to now think, what is it that I can do to make a difference? Okay. And this is what I've done, and this is what actually all the team is doing.
what is fantastic
Sorry,
about
sorry. So wonderful. This is exactly what I think should be the next segment of our conversation is individually. Let's not talk about the society. We are all society. Individually, let's give me one thing that each one of us can do or are doing. And I know I know all three of you well. So I'm just going to say, Sonam, start with you. What एक चीज बताओ कि आप कर सकते and sorry, I know Meenal was going to ask you something and she started and she didn't. You just spoke about celebrities as putting out those videos and information. And I know she was going to ask you, Sonam, have you done it?
I'm constantly tweeting, I'm constantly putting out information. But you know something? I'll tell you one of the things, Meenal, I didn't want to ever make this about me. So for me, what I have done and I'm trying to do and I continue to try to do, but in a tiny, tiny way, because I can tell you there are people who are doing so much more. So at no point am I going to try and say that, oh, I'm doing this, doing that. Point is, I try to keep the people around me safe. My friends, if I can help them in any way, any stranger that I can help find plasma, that I can help find a hospital bed, 100% I will reach out to everyone. And I am trying in a small way.
Request. You are such a big personality. You have very good network. Yeah, you have a lot. See, well, your strength is you have good followers. Yeah. What I'm seeing with the teams that I'm working with, we're exhausted. Some days I've not cooked food. My husband has just eaten biscuits, and
He can't cook.
people
Sorry.
who are actually, there are people who sitting here.
Trust
There are
Raga to
people.
answer the question.
Sorry,
She's
guys.
asking her husband can't cook. I love that. I love Raga.
No, my husband can cook, but even he's actually involved so much in this Indians in London thing, and listening to problems, and he lets me do my thing. That is very wonderful of him. But there are people. Mother has just died. And brother got a cardiac arrest. Okay, they have been sitting here and trying to basically mobilize the oxygen concentrators and all that, and suddenly they have gone blank and they come to me. Okay, there has been the in sitting in India. She's coming to our group, posting continuously for 5-6 days about trying to find medicine from your oxygen cylinder, oxygen bed. Father is now serious, and then sister-in-law and mother have tested positive, and and then suddenly, fifth day, she comes and says that, I'm feeling guilty. I lost the battle. I could not save my father. I'm not a good daughter. I have to even listen to her, because it's empathy. There are people who are in our team who are constantly helping. And then they say, Meena, today I cannot help, because my own brother-in-law died. Because, in the last 2 years, I've lost my mother. I've lost my brother. Oh, sorry, my brother. And today I've lost my brother-in-law. My sister is alone. Can I request you that, these inquiries, can you give to someone else to verify? We want people in India to sit and verify the numbers for us, because UK numbers nobody picks up. Okay. You're talking about villages. I'm getting that. I made a video, it went viral. Okay. It was just as I was exhausted. I was asked for help because our funds, the GoFundMe of Amit was stuck. So basically, I made a video, it went viral. And people from India, my cousin, second cousin, who I've not spoken to in 15 years, she called up and said, Neenal, I'm in a smaller village, smaller city, Hosangabad. Bhopal is getting help. Delhi is getting help. Okay, we have a COVID center. Government has given us a COVID center. We don't have doctors in smaller city. Okay, we want teleconsultations. Can you please help? If we can nip the bud, if someone can just tell us if there are mild symptoms, what to do. Like Shantali just said, the tests are not, the strains are not being detected. Those are the things that can be kind of, So we are
Meenal,
set up.
sorry,
Yeah, I agree.
Meenal, I interrupt. So what I'm going to do, the takeaway from what you're just saying is that any of the audience members watching this interested in helping out in any way, including what Meenal just said about verification of numbers, verifying the numbers, WhatsApp that are going all around, get in touch with us at theviewsroom@gmail.com. We will forward that to Meenal and the Indians in London, and we will make sure that this is our way of helping. This is why we want to do this segment and this show, so that any way we can help, we will provide. Shantali, I'm going to come to you. Shantali, very important thing that I was thinking about is how should we manage the emotional state of our elderly in India? See, last
Yeah.
lockdown we talked about mental health. This lockdown nobody's talking about mental health.
Yeah, I will answer that, Raga. But I'll answer your previous question because there's an important point to make
Sure.
about three things that I could do. So, three things that I've made since last week, since my mom started recovering, was I went through my phone list and I've called every single person that is either in the elderly group or wherever to follow up on how they are. I've told them to buy a pack of few things. A pack is an oximeter, a thermometer, and a steamer, so that even if they need it or they don't need it, they have it at home. And I've told them to buy this, the normal vitamin C goli, the one that you suck, buy that, and a lemon every day with just squeezing the juice. Now, these are basic things I've spoken to. I was waking up for my mom at 1:30 every day, but I've kept the routine on because work over here starts about 8 o'clock and mine is a pressured job. So during daytime, I can't manage. That's why I'm still doing that and I'll continue doing it. Now, if you multiply it with the number of people living in UK and the connections they have back home, we've already reached out to the mass of the community. So that is one thing I would definitely urge everyone to start doing. Go through your contact list, ask people to buy the basic needs, keep them ready, and to watch out the symptoms and do that. So I know, Raga, you asked me a different question, but I think that's important so that people just
Sure.
think about it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, Shantuli, may I interrupt here? When
Sure.
we finish this conversation, maybe in the comments box, you may want to put these tips as well, because I
Sure.
think people who will come back later can, read them and use them.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Sure.
Shantuli, we're going to have you again speak up on Indians in London, and do a Q&A with you again. I've
Yeah,
got
sure.
questions I'm going to have there as well.
Sure,
Yeah,
Shantuli.
and this was something that helped me because I didn't have to buy it after my mother had the symptom. What I'm saying is these were things that were at home before. So my mom didn't have to buy a steamer after she got it. The steamer was at home, if you know what I mean. It just helps not having to go on to Amazon, buy a temperature check. And not the temperature thermometer. So people can't, it depends on your affordability. Of course, some people, because you can't touch someone, you can't put it in your mouth if you've got COVID. So temperature thermometers that can read are handy because you can scan it from a distance as well. And of course, it depends on affordability. So if you can't, then you can help out with buying it for your domestic help. They've done so much. A little money goes a long way,
Sure,
that kind.
sure.
So that's what things I have done, and this is what I'm continuing to do every day. What I'm also continuing to do is for BBMP, like Bangalore, the municipal corporation, they have listed out a very, very clear process of allocating a bed. But people aren't using the process, because people are rushing around for their family members. At that time, nobody goes through a 13-page process, to allocate a bed. So what I have done is, with a group of friends, we are helping out people by going through those links, filling in the information for them, and helping them get a bed while they are frantically trying to run from pillar to post to arrange a bed. Now, this is a simple process we can do sitting here because we are thousands of miles away. We are not running. So that's again one thing we're doing because we are digitally capable. So we've been able to manage to secure 5 beds yesterday in Noida and in Bangalore for various different friends, purely because we followed the process. We had local friends over there, but we just went through every step. So there's a lot we guys from UK community can do for our motherland right now. And these are the basic things we can do is talk to 10 people. Those 10 people talk to 10 people. It's the chain of positivity. It's the chain of awareness. The change starts from me, like Mahatma Gandhi said. So these are the basic things that I have started doing. And I don't know how big an important step that it will create or how much it will help, but I would have thought every little drop in the ocean will count. So the people that I've spoken to since last week until now know that what I am saying, and they're probably on this Facebook event right now, they
We seem to have lost Shantuli.
help
But
reach out.
yeah, sure. Thanks, Shantuli. Wonderful tips. And I think that at the end of the day, when I'm listening in from as an observer as well as somebody who's been through this, I see that a lot of us are very privileged. Sorry, we are sitting from a position of privilege. We are talking about still getting beds for people when the beds are not available, non-oxygen beds are not available. Sonam and I are constantly in touch. I've got other hundreds of friends who are very, very, very privileged, very well off. They're not getting beds for their own parents. So it's not as easy as it sounds right now. But I'm also concerned about those who are not this privileged. There is a Sonam Kalra.
What I've done.
Sorry, there's a Sonam Kalra who has gone out of her way to help people who are, who offer a support in her own home and outside. I also know many of my friends are doing that, but I also know that it's a very, very small segment because we're trying right now to breathe for ourselves and our own family.
Sonam,
Right?
I want to request you to sing some nice positive songs for all
वो
of us.
करेंगे. Yeah, right now she's
आज
still
नहीं.
recovering.
आज का माहौल आई थिंक
आज के नहीं because हम थक गए. हमको ना कोई हौसला
जब भी
बढ़ाने वाले
मांगो
गाने दो please.
I've been telling someone कि दिल से गाना नहीं गाया जा रहा अभी because इतना there is so much death and so much sadness that it is just weighing too heavily on one's heart
अभी
to
हमारी
say.
जंग जारी है. हमको ना हौसला चाहिए. Please हमको हौसला
मैं
दो.
आपके लिए अलग से WhatsApp पे हौसला का भेजूंगी आपका नंबर लेके. Promise. That's a promise. I'll put it on this. But I don't feel like it would be tonally correct for me at this point to sing with all the.
करेंगे
But
Sonam
मैं
is a
मैसेज
very
भेजूंगी आप मुझे मैसेज नंबर देना मीनल का and I'll send you a WhatsApp.
Sonam is a very special woman and a special soul. I promise you, we will bring her back on Indians in London. We'll do an event together, which we'll curate.
Definitely.
Yes, Sonam will come and make sure that she sings.
I can help you raise funds if you like. I would be more than happy to do that
We
really
can do a
Yeah.
fundraiser.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Please,
Yeah,
Yeah,
please. That would be wonderful. Yesterday I was talking to someone and she was talking about, how langars you can raise fund for langars. She was saying she's a doctor interning, and she was saying that we are basically getting a lot of food there. So yeah, you could fundraise. You have amazing talent which we don't have.
happy to
Meena,
help use it for the right
Meena,
reason.
Sonam and Shantuli, we have lots to talk about. I think we've already taken about an hour of this conversation. And there's so much. I mean, I want to do many, many, many sessions like that where we talk about, like last year, we talked about people who have lost their jobs, who there is absolute lockdown issues, which is basic issues like food is still an issue for a lot of people. So I'm going to do a lot of those segments. There is mental health that we need to talk about, which is now getting neglected, which was a big thing last year. There are a whole lot of issues, babies who've been orphaned, children who
Yeah.
are orphaned right
Yeah.
That
now.
is the
As we
start.
know, as we know, people who are needing any kind of support. So this particular one, I'm going to end this very soon. These are heart-wrenching stories of pain, grief. There's a lot of anger. As we said, there are so many things I want to say, but I want to refrain from saying it in the interest of keeping this positive, although it is very, very difficult to keep this positive. And later on, I think we'll all sit together and evaluate where did we go wrong, what could have been done better. But right now, I think I would encourage everyone watching, all of us here, to use every opportunity to put our hearts together, fold our hands in prayers or in support, as I say, and make a contribution. If you can't be kind, don't be unkind. This is not the time to be unkind. That's all I tell people. I still see people trolling and putting each other down. This is not the time for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The time is to just kuch bhi, whatever, right from what Shantuli is doing to what Sonam is doing, Minal, what you're doing, what a lot of ours are doing, in whatever way we can use our strengths, let's do that. Let's support each other. Let's come together and count our blessings. Yeah. And is there anything you want to say? One last thing before we end this? And is there anything? Minal, Shantuli? Yes, Shantuli, go on.
I want to request, because Raga, a lot of your friends in West would also be watching, and we in India we're fighting a very, we have a huge population, and our population is very young, and sometimes they have to go out for work and they don't listen to their elders. So we're trying very hard, and in next 2-3 weeks this will peak, and we know that it will peak, and we're trying to send supplies accordingly from here. Okay, we're trying very hard to fight this battle. A lot of you have been very kind and generous, but a lot of you are also, trying to rub it in. This is the last. We at this moment we do not need that at all. We stood with you when UK was going through that, despite being Indians. Whether it was a gurudwara sending out the food, or it was a mandir sending out the food, or the masjid sending out the food, it was the South Asian community which was actually doing the mutual aid in London. I'm part of Newham Council Mutual Aid, and I've tried my best to stand with London, or UK. So can I please request you to, be kind to us, pray for us, and leave this sarcasm for some other time. We stood with you, we wholeheartedly. If you can't stand with us, please at least be kind. That is what I would like to say.
Means to that, I follow a philosophy which I will share, which I basically, my years are only for positive things. I just delete, it just goes into the trash bin. They're not worth it, not even worth mentioning those people on this show, really. We need only positive stories and we need to stick with each other. Forget them. Let them be. They will let them be. Shantuli, you were saying something?
Yes, I was going to say thank you to you first, because I think Raga, you and Nicola, of course, I know she's backstage, but there's a lot that happens backstage. Try to put this together and giving the platform so that we could connect with a lot of people. So really, really sincerely appreciated. And thanks to Meenal, because she's been a great support over the last few weeks. One summary I would definitely want to put is in terms of we supporting our family back home. I think the key thing is we all are helpless, but if we can mentally give them strength right now and be there for them, whether it is be there for our domestic help, be there for people that can't afford, buying them the medicines that are pretty expensive. I mean, these Fabiflu and Favipiravir are pretty expensive. If we feel they are expensive, then those people can't afford it. But if we can find the heart to go deep inside our pocket and we can do that bit, that for me would help India a big way to come out with the crisis. And that's all I hope and pray for, that we all find that big heart to go deep inside our pocket and to start with little things, even including our own domestic help and our own sabji wala, the one that comes every day to sell the vegetables. Even that little bit, I've told my mom after she recovers, she should watch out for the regulars who come. So that is my only hope and my only request to everyone.
Thank you, Shantali. Wonderful words. And Sonam, can we have final words from you?
I think both these women have said such beautiful things. And I mean, honestly, thank you to Indians in London for donating. I think India does need help. I think we have a lot of pride when we say, we don't want help, but there's no shame in asking for help. I agree with you that people need to stop mocking us and they need to stand with us. We have stood with the world at the time of every crisis. So I think it's time the world did the same for us, and they were friends to us and compassionate and kind as we've been. Shantali is absolutely right. I think it's really important that and I think, Raga, you've said this, and that's the whole reason you're having this conversation, is to talk about how it's really important for us to stand together as a community at this time. It's really important. I urge all those people, and I know people are doing this, so perhaps I don't even need to urge them, but I know, if at all, and like occasionally I'll hear a story of someone who hasn't paid a salary. To those people I say, please pay these people. They need it more than you. Don't hold anyone to anyone's money. Help each other. And I think that, Shantali, people are doing that. And I think that the one good thing that has come out of COVID, and I can honestly say it's the only good thing, because nothing justifies the amount of deaths and heartbreaks and loss of lives and the fact that people should be dying because they can't breathe. But the only good thing that's come out of COVID is the fact that we have reached out to each other, strangers and friends alike, and we have bonded at a level of deep human compassion. And I can only hope and pray that we continue to do this, to hold each other's hands, to come out of this crisis together. That's the only way we're going to do it.
It's fabulous to hear you, Sonam, Shantali, Meenal, and I hope you recover soon, Sonam. And a line from a song comes to me. Just as you were saying, maybe it is your face that brings out the lyrics in me. Tum besahara ho to kisi ka sahara bano. I don't know whether you know the song. It's my mother always said to me, when you're in the deeps, go and find someone who you can support. And this is what it is. We are all in the deeps. All of us have to look beyond us. And there are so many who need anything. I'm just saying anything. Whatever way we can support, we should support. One good, fantastic opportunity for us right here today is to support Indians in London and the initiative that Meenal and her group have. They've sent the first shipment yesterday along with others. They're going to send another shipment tomorrow. They'll continue to send. They can only send as much as the contributions that we make. So please donate generously. Donate generously. And thank you, all the audience, for joining in. If you have any further questions, please, or any queries, any comments you want to make to any one of the guests here, please write to us at theviewsroom@gmail.com. If you want to be on the show, and if you want to share the story, or if you know anyone who wants to share their story, please write to us at theviewsroom@gmail.com. And remember to donate generously. Meenal, if you can, we'll share the link, but if there's anything that you want to do, post this, please feel free. And Sonam, love you very much, as you know, always. Please take care. Love to the family. Shantali, thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Wish your mother.
Take care, Sonam. Sorry, I didn't want to kind of, offend you, but to say sorry.
No.
And I hope you all get well soon.
No, but I will sing for you. And as I said, I promise to help you with the fundraiser if I can.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I love you all.
Thank you.
Smooth recovery, everybody. And please, the audience, donate generously. We'll be back on Wednesday at the same time with some more guests, some more stories. Stay tuned in today with Totally Out Now. Thank you.